Welcome to another review by the Battle Turtle page. This is a review of the JG M3 single shot shotgun. This is purchased at evic.com. You can see here, and before I continue, I'd actually like to bring something about the name in the box. This is the box that it came in, and what's interesting is that on the bottom it doesn't say JG at all. Actually, it doesn't say JG anywhere on the box. It says AGM, S&T, and UFC. Now, look up online, I found out something about UFC is associated with JG, if not owned by them. So if anybody actually knows anything about this, feel free to comment on the bottom. I'm going to actually try to continue to look up any research on it, see if I can turn anything up, and if I do, I will edit it and add it to the comment section below. But it makes me wonder if JG also owns AGM and S&T, or if not associated with them. So for the rest of you, I'm going to just continue to consider it a JG M3 as it's advertised and sold under. Now the box comes with the gun, 3 shells, a red dot scope, and a sling, a unjamming rod. Fair warning though, if you do get this, it actually is a decent little weapon, but the shells, they look nice, they're impressive, they actually look better than some of the other ones that are available at this price range, but I've actually had 3 of these break, as in the springs get jammed on the inside. They don't work particularly very well, so you're better off with the ones meant for the tri-shots than you are with one of these, because the tri-shot ones tend to hold up a little better. As well as the red dot. As you see, I don't have it here out, because frankly it broke while trying to take it out of the plastic container, and from my understanding from other people who used it, say it's not really a functional red dot. You can't adjust it up, down, left, or right. It's just there, it's for looks, and that's about it. So it doesn't serve any purpose. It's just a little add-on accessory to make it look different. What you really buy it for, of course, is this here. Now the shotgun itself is made completely out of polymer, has an adjustable stock in the back, makes it nice and for people with different arm lengths, has a fixed rail, plastic. As you see, I kind of jerry-rigged a rail on front for the purpose of a flashlight. Like the tri-shot, the barrel is a little too thick to fit most of the rail attachments you put on barrels. I also painted the back of the front sight. If you can see it, it's a little difficult with a paint pen to make it easier to pick out in a darker light setting so I can actually aim. The rear sight has a really neat height adjustment. So a little screw here with the Allen key actually allows it to adjust up and down, makes it easier for adjusting height, elevation, depending on how you're hitting with your rounds. And the hop-up is a very basic, crude hop-up. It's right here, it's a knob. It has different clicks to go forward, back, depending on what you want. It doesn't have a screw like most of them do. It is a single shot, not a tri-shot. Surprisingly, with its open sights on the top without any red dots, without any laser sights, it's actually surprisingly accurate. Upwards of, at least I got a shot at about 60 to 70 feet, which is what my yard allows. It actually is very accurate at that range. For mine, it shoots only a tad to the right of where I'm aiming at 60, 70 feet, which is perfect for me, especially since when I purchased the gun, it was meant to fulfill a need that I needed for an indoor field. Actually, right near us is a very large indoor field of 20,000 plus square feet, and they allow up to 400 feet per second on their weapons. Now, my tri-shot wasn't really cutting it. It wasn't clearing not even half the field properly. So I need something that had a little better range and much better accuracy, which is why I actually opted for this. There weren't many reviews on them before I purchased it, so I had to give it a try, and it's actually been so far pretty good, except for the less than perfect accessories. Now I mentioned these do jam pretty often. They look neat, they do jam, but the 30 round tri-shot ones work with an exception. If you get the 30 round tri-shots, there's a problem. See, on the bottom, this does load like a tri-shot, which makes it also somewhat better than the magazine fed, just because of the looks. It makes it a little bit cooler. Has the drop on the bottom, put your shell inside, no different than tri-shot one, fits perfectly inside. Open up, it'll drop back out. The problem is that with the tri-shots, this is not meant for a 30 round shell magazine. So when you actually fully load a 30 round shell magazine, it tends to, within about the 5th, 6th shot, every time, it'll multiple feed about 4 or 5 BBs at one time. So you gotta open the bottom, release the magazine, pump the gun to release the excess BBs, reload it, and go again. So that is the downside to using the 30 round magazines with this gun. The upside is if you actually get a speed loader and use the 30 round magazines, use a speed loader, pump it 4 or 5 times maximum, and it never multiple feeds. It's only when it's fully loaded will it multiple feed into the gun and jam it, which is something, of course, you don't want. The gun, of course, like the Tri-Shot, is completely polymer, and here eventually it probably will get loose, and if it ever breaks, it'll probably break right here. But for the price range, it'll fit a perfect need for what I was looking for in the indoor field. It actually completely fits what I desired, which would also make it a good gun for someone who just needs a basic secondary weapon, or who's just a casual player or new into Airsoft, to be able to get something like this, because it is surprisingly very accurate with just the open sights. You don't need any extra sights added to it. You just need to adjust the elevation sight to fix the range you need for the BBs to hit, and then beyond that, you're pretty good. It actually added a flashlight, only added the flashlight attachment in the front because the area in which I'm playing, the indoor field, it's fairly dark. It has some semi-lit areas, some areas that are almost completely dark, so having a flashlight helps a lot. That was the other problem I found with the Tri-Shot, is that with the Tri-Shot, most of it, I'm having to, when I shoot, I have to trail where the BBs go and adjust my shot accordingly to the next one. Well, being as dark as it is, without using glow-in-the-dark BBs, it's pretty much impossible to know where my shot is hitting. So at least with this, I know with the accuracy, as long as I have a well-aimed shot, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to hit them. I should be able to actually clear the field from one end to the other with this, just going by the FPS and the range at which I'm able to shoot it. It's very straight, it's very accurate, and it's well worth it for someone who's looking for a cheap shotgun, something to play with, but still has the accuracy required to actually hit your target. Beyond that, there's actually not too much more to say. It does have a safety here by the trigger, right along the trigger guard behind the trigger. How often you might use it or not depends on, I don't know, I honestly very rarely use the safeties. This one, taking the magazine out, getting off the field, putting it back on, always make sure it's clear. So safeties generally aren't much of an issue. I hardly ever use them on these guns. Real guns are a different story. These they hardly ever used. But for what it is, it actually fits a need. It's a neat little gun, and it's, I mean, for what purpose it serves, it's worth the money. It was around $40, which is neat, and then hopefully it actually is very helpful for anybody interested in it in the future. With that being said, it's actually a pretty short review because there's covered basically everything with it. And we'll go from here, and I hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you, and have a great day.